COVID-19 or coronavirus is here, so it's important to have the correct information at hand, like knowing the symptoms, a high temperature, a cough, shortness of breath or breathing difficulties. If you have symptoms, self-isolate to protect others and phone your GP. Visit hse.ie for updated factual information and advice, or give us a call. Protection from coronavirus. It's in our hands.
When you're coming to St. Luke's Hospital, you will be coming to the main entrance. You take the entrance 3 access and you can park the car in the car park. This door is open from 7 a.m. in the morning until 9 p.m. at night time. When you enter the hospital, always sanitize your hands and follow the markings on the floor until you get to a circle just prior to the cafe. If you're going to the antenatal clinic, follow straight through following the floor signs. Take a left to the antenatal department, check in with the receptionist and take a seat in the waiting area. Always observe social distancing. Midwife will call you for your appointment to be seen either by the doctor or the midwife. If you need to have bloods taken, you need to follow the signs to the phlebotomy department, which is on the first floor. You take a ticket when you get there and take a seat and wait until you're called. Always observe social distancing. For a fetal assessment scan, you come up to maternity floor, which is the second floor. Once you exit the lift, you take a right and straight ahead there is the fetal assessment unit. Reception area is on your left and receptionist will look after you there. If you're referred to our obstetric assessment unit, maybe from the clinic or by your GP, or for preparation for cesarean section, once you come to the maternity unit, you take a left and the obstetric assessment unit is on your right hand side. If you're coming in labour, if it's during the day, you can come to the main entrance. You can follow the arrows to the circle on the floor. If you're coming in between 9 o'clock at night and 7 o'clock in the morning, you need to come through our emergency entrance, which is through entrance 2. This door is open 24/7. There are wheelchairs available at both entrances. Whichever entrance you come through, you'll be coming to this area. You follow the sign on the floor and the arrows that will bring you to the main part of the hospital and all the wards. Any time that you enter the hospital through any entrance, always sanitize your hands and always observe social distancing throughout the hospital. Once you come to the lift, you come up to the second floor to maternity. When you exit the lift, you turn right and you follow the signs for the labour room. There are 2 admission rooms where we can assess mums to see at what stage of labour that they are in, assess mum's health, assess baby's health, and from there we decide if you're going home, if you're going out to the ward, or if you're being admitted to the labour ward. After the delivery of your baby and yourself will be transferred to the postnatal ward to be looked after by the midwives there. Good evening, you're very welcome to our labour ward. This is one of 3 rooms. If you're in this particular room, this curtain here will be pulled so nobody necessarily knows who's in any of the other rooms. Armchairs here for mum to sit in early labour if she wishes, or partner can sit in it as labour progresses there also. This particular pump here would be used if your labour needs to be induced, where a drip would be put up with a drug in it to bring on your contractions. And just because it's here doesn't necessarily mean it is going to be used. Birth ball is here, so if mum wants to sit in it during labour, we can leave it beside the bed. We can adjust the height of the bed to whatever is comfortable for you there also. Just because the bed is here doesn't mean that you have to use it. You can adjust the height of the bed. The back part can go up here to whatever is comfortable for you. lower part can be adjusted there also, and can actually go down into like a bit of a chair. So for the pushing stage, sometimes it's like mums can use like a squatting position. So just to let you know, the bed can be adjusted for mum's comfort. How we monitor mum's health in labour is to monitor baby's heart rate. Now, if everything is normal throughout the pregnancy, we may just listen into baby's heart rate every 15 minutes. This is what we call innards. Otherwise, we might just use a sonic aid, and we can listen in every 15 minutes. We can use it when you're standing also. You don't necessarily have to lie on the bed. However, if we have to monitor baby's heart rate continuously throughout the labour, there's two parts to our monitor. Top part will monitor contractions, lower part will monitor baby's heart rate. And these are kept in positions with straps like this. Okay? All forms of pain relief would be Entonox. This is piped into our labour wards, ready to go all the time. The mouthpiece here would be attached to it, and all mum has to do is just to hold it. You would be instructed in using it when you're actually in labour also. When you're using it, it makes a noise like this. So if you don't hear any noise, you're not going to be getting anything from it. Other forms of pain relief would be the epidural, probably what most people have heard about. So if you're using the epidural, this machine here will monitor the rate of medication is given at there also. When you have an epidural, you won't be able to get out of bed, but you will be turning every hour from side to side. So sometimes we use this particular ball called peanut ball, which you can rest between your knees just to make that little bit more comfortable there also. Ideally, one midwife will be looking after you in labour, but if we're ever out of the room, there is always a call bell, so don't ever feel that you're on your own. Okay? And if the labour ward is very, very busy, that might happen for a very short while. Delivery trolley, basically all that's in the delivery set, sterile hose, clamps to clamp or scissors to cut the cord. Okay? Otherwise anything else has to be added to it. Now normally for the times that are in it, we do have to get dressed up for the actual birth. So normally we would be using an apron. Also we would have goggles, and we would also be wearing masks throughout the labour also. So when you see us getting dressed up, you know that you're very, very close to meeting your baby at that stage. Normally one midwife would be looking after you in labour, but when baby is very close to coming, normally at that stage we would call in a second midwife. So normally there may be just two midwives looking after you in labour. If we need any help or assistance, we call a doctor at any time. Next here is what we call the resuscitator. Ideally, when every baby is born, he or she will be delivered up onto mum's tummy, then with skin-to-skin contact for up to 60 minutes. However, if he or she didn't need any assistance with their breathing or didn't cry as quickly as we'd like them to, we just have this ready. There's heat, light, suction and oxygen. Just when we turn this on, it just checks it out. So basically we have everything ready if it's needed. But ideally every baby will be delivered onto mum's tummy and there. Baby will be weighed before he or she leaves the labour ward, just the weighing scales here. Lights here, if mum needs any stitches after baby is born, we just have to make sure that everything is repaired properly. So these lights will just be given that bit of extra light. Just because the equipment is here doesn't mean it's going to be used, just to be aware that if it's needed, it is here. So hopefully this will, this tour will make your experience more enjoyable and you will feel more confident coming in to have your baby. Thank you.
Gestational diabetes is one of the most common health problems that can happen during pregnancy. It affects as many as 12% of pregnancies in Ireland and can lead to serious problems for both mum and baby. Certain women are at higher risk of developing gestational diabetes. For example, if you are overweight, if you have a family member with diabetes, if you had gestational diabetes in a previous pregnancy, or depending on your ethnic background. If you are at risk, you will receive a blood test for gestational diabetes between 24 and 28 weeks of pregnancy. If you are diagnosed, there are day-to-day changes you can make to stay healthy. How much exercise you get and what kind of food you eat can have important effects on your health and your baby's health. But what happens when you have gestational diabetes, and how can diet and exercise help? Food and drinks are broken down in your digestive system. The sugar they contain is absorbed into your bloodstream. But sugar needs insulin to work. Insulin is made by the pancreas and helps sugar get into your cells. Insulin acts like a key that lets the sugar move from the bloodstream into the cells of your body, where it is used for energy. Pregnancy hormones change the way insulin works in your body. In the later stages of pregnancy, these changes make it difficult for insulin to unlock the cells and allow the sugar to enter. This is what is known as insulin resistance. Some insulin resistance is normal in pregnancy, but this means that your pancreas needs to work extra hard to keep blood sugar levels in a healthy range. When you have gestational diabetes, your pancreas is not able to keep up. As a result, too much sugar is left in the blood. However, a carefully planned diet with high-fibre carbohydrates and no added sugar can make it easier for your body to manage the sugar in your blood. Exercise will also help keep blood sugar low, as it improves insulin's ability to unlock the cells and uses up sugar for energy. If blood sugar is controlled, your chances of a healthy pregnancy are the same as a non-diabetic mum. This makes diet and exercise powerful tools for a healthy pregnancy. However, if blood sugar is not well controlled, this can lead to problems in both mum and baby. In a study of 23,000 pregnant women around the world, researchers found a link between high blood sugar in mum and babies that had grown too big. Researchers also found a link between high blood sugar and preeclampsia, premature delivery, need for caesarean section, birth injury, and abnormal sugar control in baby. Diabetes during pregnancy can also put you and your baby at risk for problems later in life, including type 2 diabetes and heart disease. But there are actions you can take. Changes in diet and exercise, combined with close monitoring, can successfully manage blood sugar in 7 out of 10 pregnancies. So no better time to start than now. To learn more about Irish research on maternal and newborn health, you can visit the HRB Mother and Baby Clinical Trial Network.
Sinead Thompson and I'm a community midwife at the National Maternity Hospital. I designed and created labour hopscotch in 2015 in response to an increase in the epidural rates and also in medical interventions during labour and birth. The principle of labour hopscotch is to encourage optimal fetal positioning. This means having your baby's head in the optimum position, lined up so it can descend into the pelvis in the optimum position for labour. When this happens, it triggers the spontaneous onset of labour. When women go into spontaneous labour, it's less likely that they'll need induction, and that means that there'll hopefully be less intervention in their births. The labour hopscotch framework aims to support and promote natural and active labour. It is encouraged for all women, regardless of the care pathway that they choose for their birth, but encourages more natural methods of pain relief where possible, for as long as possible in labour. Using the idea of the game hopscotch we all played years ago, each of the steps can be undertaken to remain active during labour. The process can start at home, beginning at the bottom of the hopscotch board when you're more active and mobile. The bottom square of the labour hopscotch is called the mobilised square, and it aims at promoting optimal fetal position. There are 4 activities associated with this step, and it's important that these 4 positions are practiced throughout the antenatal period in preparation for your labour. Your midwife will explain the positions to you during your pregnancy. Our research findings, which we published in 2019 in our research study, showed that women who practiced labour hopscotch had reduced epidural rates, reduced the caesarean section rates, increased spontaneous onset of labour and vaginal deliveries, and most of all, there was an increase in birth satisfaction rates. Having a positive birthing experience makes a smoother transition to parenthood.
Changing your newborn's nappy is one of those things you'll be doing 7 or 8 times a day, so it's best to be organised from the start. Make sure you have everything you need ready and close to hand. Place your baby on a clean, soft, flat surface. Open the nappy and wipe away excess stools from the genital area with the corner of the nappy. Hold your baby by the ankles and lift up their bottom. Use soft cotton balls or a wet cloth to clean your baby. Clean around the umbilical cord area. For a girl, be sure to wipe from front to back. This will help minimise the spread of an infection. Swap a clean nappy for the dirty one. Use the tabs to see which way goes up. Avoid covering the umbilical cord as this can cause irritation. For a boy, keep his penis pointed down. Fasten the nappy at both sides with the tapes, making sure it's snug, but not so tight that it pinches the skin. Retape the soiled nappy around the contents, put it in a plastic bag and discard it in the bin. Dress your baby and wash your hands thoroughly. Babies wet their nappies several times a day. The number of wet nappies is a helpful sign of how much fluid the baby is taking in. Generally, a baby should have 5 to 6 wet nappies each day. This is a good indication that they're getting enough milk.
Put your cold water in first. You add your hot, you just check it with your elbow. If it's comfortable for your elbow, it's fine for the baby. It's about 36 degrees centigrade, the water temperature. You put your hand underneath the baby's head like that. You just took the baby under your elbow resting on your hip. Now I'm holding the baby in the same position and I'm going to wash the baby's hair. So just wash it nice and gently. This is a very good baby. And I'm going to come back onto my mat and I'm going to lie the baby back down and I'm going to dry the baby's head well. Babies lose a lot of heat from their heads, so make sure that you dry the baby's head very well. Now, when you're lifting the baby into the bath, just turn the baby over on its side, over in this position. Just put one arm, your left arm, underneath the head and hold on to the left arm. And put your right arm underneath the bottom and hold on to the left leg. Now you see there is no way this baby's going to fall on me. I've got the head well supported with my arm here on the left and I've got a good grip of the baby. Now nice and gently you're going to let the baby into the bath. If the baby's enjoying it, of course, just leave them in for a little while. Babies are very used to water from being inside, so they love the sound of the water. I'm going to lift the baby out again. Now you see I'm lifting the baby out nice and gently. So you settle them down, give them a little cuddle.
settle them down, and then you're going to dry the baby off well. Don't forget areas where they can get sore if you leave them wet. All babies are quite fat in here, so get right in there onto the chin, because if you leave areas wet, they're going to get red and sore. They're all get right onto the armpit here, where they're like that. And another area is get right onto the behind the knees and in the groin area. They're areas that can actually get sore if you leave them wet. So you make sure that you dry those areas off very well.